The average person is consuming about 358 to 360 calories a day just through what they are drinking on a daily basis. The drinks in which they are drinking contain about 94 grams of sugar. The average person that is abiding by the standard American diet, I must say, is really consuming about 22% of their daily caloric intake through beverages. Drinks are sometimes a big culprit of that muffin top that comes out over your waistband on your pants, your shorts, your dress, whatever. And that's not a good look. There are just serious impacts of drinking beverages that don't really benefit our body at the cellular level.
You're listening to the Visibly Fit podcast. Hey, I'm your host, Wendie Pett. And every week, I'll give you holistic, practical solutions for everyday issues related to nutrition, healing, functional fitness, and behavior modifications. As a naturopath, fitness expert, and wellness coach for over 20 years, my goal is to empower you to reach for greater health and to rise up to your next level of living in mind, body, and spirit. You were created with greatness in mind. It's time to own it. Are you with me? Then let's dive in.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the Visibly Fit podcast. I'm your host, Wendie Pett. And this episode is brought to you by the app from US Diabetes Care, and it's a diabetic education program app that is only $120 a year. They have tools that you need to transform your diabetic life. There's expert-led courses, practical lifestyle tips, and 24/7 access in their program. But I will have a link in the show notes if you are interested. Again, it's $120 a year. It's fantastic, and it's a great resource for you. So this is a great way to start off this show today because we're going to be talking about drinks, like beverages that are sabotaging your health. In fact, we're going to talk about 10 drinks in particular, but the average person is consuming about 358 to 360 calories a day just through what they are drinking on a daily basis. And on average, that's about the drinks in which they are drinking contain about 94 grams of sugar. Whoa, that is a lot of sugar. The average person, and I'm not, kind of clumping you up in there if that's not you, but I would say average person that is abiding by the standard American diet, I must say, is really consuming about 22% of their daily caloric intake through beverages. And really, what beverage do we need? And what does our body want and beg for? Water. Right? Our body wants water. So I do have something that I want you to grab, and I will have this in the show notes as well. But it is a free guide that will really help to, I guess, point out these drinks to you, and it will help you to eliminate your muffin top fast. That's right. Drinks are sometimes a big culprit of that muffin top that, comes out over your waistband on your pants, your shorts, your dress, whatever. And that's not a good look. And it doesn't feel very good either, right? Well, beverages can be a big culprit of that. So if we can start to remove these sugary drinks and high caloric drinks from your daily consumption, I promise you, you will see a big difference. You will get rid of that jiggle from the middle, and that is what we want for sure. There are just serious impacts of drinking beverages that don't really benefit our body at the cellular level. And people are drinking all kinds of things, and mainly, I think, because it's so readily accessible to drink any kind of energy drink, to fruit juices, to sodas, to whatever. But there's just so many hidden dangers. And so we're going to talk a little bit about the hidden dangers of sodas. Okay, let's just talk about that first. And hopefully you're not still drinking sodas, but maybe you are. Maybe you haven't kicked the can yet. You haven't kicked that habit. But here's what you've got to know is that a 12-ounce soda, Well, I call them Cokes. Growing up, I always called them Cokes. And then people would say, well, what kind of Coke do you want? And I would say Dr. Pepper. But in Minnesota, we say soda pop. So anyway, yeah, so it's just a 12 ounce actually has, a little, quite a bit of caffeine, I guess, for a 12 ounce can of pop. It's about 38 milligrams, but more importantly, it's got 13 teaspoons of sugar. Like that's huge. That is contributing to the average American to consume 200 pounds of sugar annually if they were to drink, a 12-ounce soda every day. I mean, think about that. That's gross. It really is. When we can just ditch the soda and drink water, because that's really what our bodies want. It's what it's craving. Now, there was a a research from Harvard that showed that the risk of childhood obesity actually increased 1.6 times with each additional daily serving of soda. Yeah, that's right. And sodas are really linked to the sugary beverages are linked to weight gain and obesity and type 2 diabetes and um, all kinds of things that are not necessary, right? If we could just ditch the sodas. So maybe that's the one thing that you haven't let go of yet. Well, I can't stress it enough to just take on the challenge of ditching the soda. And again, go to the link in the show notes so you can get the info of the top 10 drinks to ditch to eliminate your muffin top. And you will gain some insights about how you can break free from the sugary drink addiction. And that's what it is. It's really just an addiction. So that will be a game changer if you can just set that aside. Sodas also, we've heard this from early on, sodas and the fruit juices, they have been a big contributing factor to teeth decay and rot. And it's horrible because of the high sugar and acid content. So we really want to understand that the correlation between sodas, Cokes, whatever you want to call it, and the consumption of them and dental issues, they are linked together. They really are. So if you start ditching the soda and ditching that sugar that you're consuming with that soda, your mouth health, your dental health will become so much better as well. Now you can swap for, like I said, water, but you can have, maybe you're bored with water. Maybe you just want like a little flavor in it. Well, you can add a squeeze of lemon, a squeeze of lime, a squeeze of orange. The other day I was bored with my water. And so I made some, just some hot herbal tea, like, just some hot water. And I was like, oh, I think I'll just have like a sprig of my, mint that I had from the garden. And I put a sprig of that in my hot water. And it was great because then I had the oils from the mint. And it was just a nice little hint of mint. It's like a hot hint mint water. Anyway, it was perfect. It was what I needed and it was great for my digestion and all kinds of things because it was after dinner. So there's different ways to have, enhanced water intake. But man, it's just so much sugar. And then, who really drinks a 12-ounce can of soda? Most people are supersizing it and they're drinking probably a 20-ounce soda. And that's almost 17 teaspoons of sugar. So that's a lot. That is just so much. And so I don't want you to be deceived into thinking that, one soda won't hurt me, because over the course of time, it will be an accumulation of a breakdown at the cellular level. And so you might as well just stop now. Stop the habitual sugary habit, because your body will thank you later. And that jiggle in the middle will begin to go away. I promise. A lot of people are really into drinking those sports drinks, especially if you've got, kids in sports. It's an easy grab, but that's not what they need. I mean, they are sugary drinks. And these drinks are money makers. Let me tell you, it's a 7.5. Actually, I think it's much more than that these days. But when I did the research in the day, it was $7.5 billion dollar drink industry. So it's all about the money. And these drinks, they just contain high levels of sugar, and they are very comparable to sodas. For example, a 20-ounce sports drink can have about 35 grams of sugar. So that's even more than a soda. So, don't be deceived in thinking, oh, it's a sports drink. It's to give me some electrolytes or to give your child some. No, there's other ways of getting electrolytes, right? So it's important to know that these are just a gimmick, and it's all about the money, and they want you to get addicted to their brand of drink. And so what do you do to replenish those electrolytes? There's other ways to do it. You don't need the sports drinks. Even like I said, lemon water really can help. Any kind of like I do juices that have celery in it. So that's a great electrolyte, right? You're getting sodium with that celery. But there's alternatives. There's coconut water, which is a great electrolyte substitute. And it only has about 60 calories a can. And it's a natural electrolyte without excessive sugar. So that's going to be good. That's going to be a best choice. But it is kind of just like this cool thing, right? To have an energy drink in your hand, or um, yeah. Not just a sports drink, but an energy drink. I mean, think about all the energy drinks that are on the market. Monsters to, I don't even know all the names. I mean, they've all got crazy names, but um, they're just loaded with caffeine. I mean, it is making your hormones all wonky. It's keeping you jittery. It's causing, gosh, anxiety and even depression in some people. It's really wreaking havoc on your body. So um, it's not something to reach for, and it can really lead to some heart palpitations and just that increased risk of anxiety. If you didn't have it before, there's that risk of having it if you're drinking those kind of energy drinks, sports drinks, energy drinks, but especially the energy drinks. They are causing serious health issues. I mean, I think of Red Bull. It'll give you wings, right? Yeah, it sure will. I mean, there's people are getting dehydrated. It's causing heart damage, and yeah, it's not good for your health. And people have passed away from drinking energy drinks. So I would steer clear. I would just really steer clear and go for just natural ways to boost energy. And the best way to do that, of course, is proper nutrition, hydration, adequate sleep, getting enough light from the sunshine, right? And just doing that without the artificial stimulants. That's what you want to do. That's the way to do it. And then move your body, right? A lot of times like people are like, I don't have any energy, but all they've been doing is sitting around all day. Or, you gotta move to create energy. So if you're in a stagnant office kind of situation all the time, get up, move your body, and then you will get some energy. You don't need to reach for an energy drink. Now, what are some other drinks that are causing and wreaking havoc on your health and giving you that muffin top look that nobody wants a muffin top, man or woman. We don't want a muffin top. A lot of these, I know coffee is a culture, right? Like people are into going to the Starbucks, the Caribou coffees, the wherever, right? Dutch Brothers. It's kind of a thing. But man, they so many of these fufu coffees, these drinks are loaded with calories and incredible amounts of sugar. Like some of them have 500 to 700 calories and as much as 130 grams of sugar. Yeah. Talk about a contributing factor to unhealthy weight gain. That's it. I know it might be, kind of a cool thing to go and sit at a cafe or a coffee shop and do some writing or meet with some friends, but I don't know, drink a green tea instead. I'm serious, because it's going to really start to lead in insulin spikes, and you're going to end up having energy crashes, and it's going to promote further unhealthy eating behaviors. It really will. And, I said before the show started that this particular episode is brought to you by the U.S. Diabetes Care app, because if you are dealing with diabetes, my program could help you immensely at getvisiblyfit.com. But this app is also a nice tool. And I have the link in the show notes. Again, it's only $120 for the year. And you've got incredible tools to help you overcome and, and yeah, and just transform your diabetic life big time. I mean, especially if you're pre-diabetes, type 2 or type 3. So go to the show notes and click that link. But I just want to encourage you. I want to encourage you, if you are a coffee drinker, I'm not a big fan because, again, of the caffeine. If you're going to do decaf, I'm more in favor of that. But also, there's a lot of aflatoxins, mold that's found on coffee beans. And so I don't know, I'm a tea person. But if you are going to be a coffee person, go for black decaf, right? And that way you're not going to have to worry about all the fufu extra calories and the sugar that they add to those fufu drinks. Because yeah, anytime you add any kind of flavoring to your drinks, it's going to add some calories and some sugar. But you can use different spices, like you could use nutmeg or cinnamon or something like that instead of sugar that can give it like a different flavor. I mean, that's definitely something to consider. Now, something else that a lot of people are drinking and it's wreaking havoc on your health and probably a contributor to your muffin top, smoothies. Like, smoothies are great when they're done right, but man, smoothies can really contain massive added sugars from the juices, from the fruit juices, right? Like having up to 8 teaspoons of sugar per serving, and it often surpasses the content of sodas. Now, I'm not ratting on my dad, but I'm ratting on my dad. So the very first thing he does in the morning is he gets a big drink. I mean, like a huge cup of orange juice. And I'm like, Dad, that's like drinking a Coke. He's like, yeah, well, that's just what I do. I mean, he's 82. But he doesn't realize how much sugar is in that orange juice. So I'm going to keep after him a little bit. And he also drinks tons of sweet tea. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the sweet tea is adding tons of calories, and I mean per glass. And he does big glasses, but we're talking probably 60 to 75 grams of sugar per glass. Seriously, he like puts it's sweet tea. So if you're a sweet tea drinker, maybe resort to just regular tea. Leave out just make it unsweetened tea. Learn to enjoy it. Put in some mint leaves or something like that that can kind of give it a different flavor. Or you could even do some alternatives like using unsweetened tea and blend some whole fruits with water or unsweetened almond milk and kind of blend that together. That's kind of an interesting mix. But that way you're not actually using sugar, table sugar. I mean, I know fruits have fructose, but it's just an alternative, just something to think about. Now, here's another one that is a tough thing, especially those that are into muscle building and that kind of thing. It's the whole protein shake pitfall. I mean, I, there's nothing wrong with protein drinks, right? Like if you are needing some more substance, or you're wanting to have a snack of some sort, and that's kind of your reach, and you're wanting to get in a certain uh, amount of protein in your day, and it's just an easy go-to. I just wouldn't make it an all the time go-to. I mean, the best way to consume protein is by eating the whole food source. But these protein drinks can have a lot of calories, right? When you're adding all kinds of things to them. And again, I like protein drinks. I like them every now and then, but they can be just loaded with hidden sugars and even unhealthy additives. Like for instance, some protein powders can contain up to 30 grams of sugar or more. And if you combine that with any kind of sweetened milk, like even an almond milk or anything like that, or juices, it's going to add up. So just go for more of a simple smoothie recipe and avoid those added sugars. Again, the more fruit you put in there, the higher sugar content it's going to be. So go, light on the fruit. bring in some spinach. It's always good to figure out where I can put in greens, and you won't even taste the spinach. But use like unsweetened almond milk or unsweetened coconut milk. I like to make my own almond milk so that I know that there's no fillers and thickening agents or anything in there that I don't want to consume. So I have the almond cow. I highly recommend that. There's a ton on the market, but I definitely love it. Let's see what else. People are consuming alcohol. That's a big one, right? I have to discuss that because people are like, yeah, well, I just had one cocktail after work or whatever it was. But man, did you know that a margarita can have up to 900 calories? 900. And just mixed drinks can range from 400 to 600 calories each. So if you put that in perspective, man, like if you consume a margarita and or like 2 margaritas, you're going to be maxed out on your daily caloric intake for most people, right? I mean, it's coming close to it, 1,800 calories. And it's like, boom, I just had 2 margaritas. So anyway, hopefully you're not consuming alcohol because it's killing your brain cells and other cells for that matter. But if you do, have a cocktail every now and then, just know that, man, it's really going to contribute to that jiggle in the middle. And we want to get rid of that muffin top, right? And even wine drinkers, they consume an additional 2,000 calories a month from just alcohol alone, like the average wine drinker. So you just I don't think people realize, they don't realize the consumption that they are consuming as they're just drinking and chit-chatting with friends or whatever. So just be mindful of your choices. So yeah. So I would really like you to go and get this free guide so that you have it at your fingertips. And again, I'm going to put this in the show notes. It's on my website. It's Wendie Pett /eliminate. I'm just going to put it in the show notes, right? Eliminate-muffin-top-fast. Yeah, no one's going to remember that. You're not going to remember that. So I'm just going to put it in the show notes, and there'll be a link there and you can go right to it, and then you can sign up for free and you'll get the download. That way you've got it right in front of you and you can say, yeah, you know what? This is a lot of sugar or calories that I have been, entering into my lifestyle, and I want to weed that out. So that way you've got it in front of you and you can make healthier choices, hopefully, especially if you are a visual learner. So definitely go and download that. But thanks so much for tuning in. I hope that this kind of like maybe prompts you to be more cognizant and intentional with what you're putting into your body, because our body really does respond to what we're putting into it or not putting into it. And so those drink choices matter, and those small changes can actually make a big difference for a healthier lifestyle. So I hope you will go and download that form, like I'm telling you about the guide. I'll put it in the show notes, and that way you can learn some substitutions as well. So thank you again so much for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and give it a 5-star rating and a review. I really appreciate that, and I will catch you next time right here on Visibly Fit. Be blessed.
Well, that's a wrap for today's show. So thank you so much for tuning in. I love spending this time with you. To learn more and get more free resources, just head on over to wendiepett.com. And thank you in advance for sharing this episode and this podcast, following and subscribing, not only to this podcast, but finding me on social media, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are, I'm probably there too. Until next week and our next podcast time together, make it a Visibly Fit day.